Hi everyone, I'm Nina Zdrowski and I'm here today with Kathleen Stanley, the Director of Assessing here in Charlton. Hello, thank you for coming in today.
Thank you for having me.
So starting off just simple, can you just give everyone an overview of your day-to-day activity?
Sure. Our office does do a number of different things. Some of it is motor vehicle excise, exemptions, a lot of mapping. So sometimes people will come in and just want to get a property record card and kind of see, you know, whether their house square footage and bedrooms and bathrooms match. Take a look at the map. Maybe they need a plot plan because they're putting an addition on or a swimming pool in. So a lot of things like that.
Yep. Now that we have that, can you just kind of dive into like what your position is, like what you do, the kind of in-depth of what you guys do?
Yeah. So, you know, the assessor's office has to update values every single year. And we're sort of always working towards setting the tax rate because ultimately the town has to collect a budget and set a tax rate and send the tax bills out at the end of December. So, you know, we value, you know, real estate as far as commercial, industrial, residential, as well as personal property. So for the residential properties, we mainly look at sales that have occurred in town. So we go out and we visit all the sales that have occurred the prior calendar year. Make sure that the data that we have on them is accurate. The Department of Revenue actually sets standards that say that we can't be more than 10% different than what the sale is. So for the residentials, we go and we visit, we analyze the sales, and we have to develop building rates and land rates and depreciation schedules that work for all of those sales. And then what happens is you submit them to the Department of Revenue and they approve them. And then you take those rates and you apply them to all the properties that didn't sell, so that everybody is, in a sense, brought up to 100%. Massachusetts statewide is an ad valorem state, which means it's a tax based on value. So everybody has to be revalued at 100% every year. It's a little bit different when you're talking about commercial and industrial properties. For commercial properties, a lot of times the cost approach is used, which is on the principle of substitution, just saying, you know, somebody's going to pay more than what it would cost to build that same property. And also industrial and commercial properties, they're special use properties. So it's the cost approach. Also the Ingham approach is looked at, and that is the principle of anticipation, just saying that, you know, if you have a 6-family house, someone maybe is going to look at what the rents are, how many units there are, what their income is going to be, what their vacancy and losses might be, and it's capitalized to say, you know, what they would pay for a specific property. So those are a little different. Charlton has a lot of personal property as well, and that is business machinery and equipment and furniture and fixtures, but for most corporations, it's really machinery and equipment. All the solar farms, a lot of personal property on Millennium Power Plant, the liquefied natural gas plant. Amazon will be having a lot of personal property, so there'll be a lot of there, especially with the robots and everything. So we look at that. Those are depreciated yearly. They have to fill out a detailed fixed asset listing every March 1st. So that's submitted to our office, and then that's used. So essentially what happens in that trajectory to set the tax rate, we have to come up with all those values of all the different properties, and then, you know, get that approved. And then the prior year's levy, the amount to be raised by the real estate tax rate, plus 2.5%, because we have, you know, Proposition 2.5, plus new growth. So during that whole time period, we're visiting building permits for pools and additions and new houses and all of that stuff to calculate what the new growth is. So you take the prior levy plus 2.5% plus your new growth number. That gets, in a nutshell, divided with the budget to calculate the tax rate. Currently, we're at $12.17 per thousand. Our effective tax rate, because we run at about a 95%, is like 1.15%, which is really pretty good. Our taxes are pretty good in town. So
if you want to move in.
If you want to move in, we're definitely open and willing to, you know, help anyone that comes in and help them kind of navigate the system they land at our office at some point usually.
So just one more question about the projects in Charlton. So for Amazon, for example, was that a very long process for you guys to kind of dig into, or any new projects that you want to kind of tell us about?
It does take some time. So for Amazon, they did come in and they were kind of just scoping it all out for a while. You know, we weren't really sure, and then, you know, we knew that it was going to be on the property on 53 Sturbridge Road, and that, you know, it was farmland. So they had to kind of navigate through breaking it out of, there's something we have called chapter land. So they do have to kind of go back through and pay a rollback tax in order to release that so that they could purchase the property. And then, you know, there was some town meeting and different things that we had to go through for Amazon. The same with the liquefied natural gas plant. They had to go through the EFSB, which is the Energy Facility Sightings Board. So they had to get permission on the state level to really to be able to come in. So they can take some time, but I feel like they've all been very thankful that Charlton's been pretty good to work with. We have a development team that meets once a month. And that involves, you know, building and planning and conservation, town administrator, myself. And sometimes we meet with people, like if they're just kind of, we're kind of testing the waters and seeing, then we'll agree to meet with them. And we'll come in and sit down and kind of go over, you know, what can we do to help you? You know, what are you proposing? What are you thinking? And we can kind of guide them and tell them, you know, it might not fly because there's, you know, this bylaw or that bylaw or what might be a more viable thing. So we do sometimes do that as the development team, and I think that's really helpful to businesses that are trying to come into town.
Well, that's awesome. Well, that's a great overview about what you do, so thank you very much for coming in today.
You are welcome. Thank you.